Hello, traders. Welcome back to Financial Market Insights for Traders. I'm Sophia, and today we're unpacking the full scope of the current Israel Iran conflict, exploring the winners, the losers, those stuck in the gray zone, and what every move means for markets and traders. This episode is about the new war triggered by Israel's Operation Rising Lion, launched on June 13th, 2025, rippling across geopolitics and global finance. Stick with me, this will get deep. Israel's operation has marked a seismic shift in regional dynamics. By precision striking Iran's nuclear and missile infrastructure at sites like Natanz, Iraq, Fordow, and reportedly targeting key IRGC leaders and nuclear scientists, Israel has demonstrated unprecedented air superiority. But more importantly, it has leveraged hybrid warfare in a deeply effective way. Mossad operatives used covert drone sabotage inside Iran, preemptively disabling radar and missile guidance under the cloak of secrecy. That intelligence fusion with overt Air Force strikes represents a game change in military strategy, signaling Israel's readiness to integrate clandestine operations with public displays of force, disrupting Iran's nuclear progress while keeping pilots safe and collateral damage limited. From a messaging standpoint, Prime Minister Netanyahu has skillfully steered narratives around deterrence and diplomacy. He has issued calls to Iranian citizens to resist their regime, casting Israel as not just fighting a war of survival, but pushing for change inside Iran itself. Simultaneously, Iran's proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iraqi militias, and Yemen's Houthis, have stepped back. Whether deterred or constrained, their silence keeps the conflict contained without erupting into a multi-front war. Right now, Israel enjoys not just military advantage, but also the diplomatic high ground. It appears proactive, surgical, and strategic rather than reactionary or aggressive. On the losing side stands Iran's nuclear and missile infrastructure. Analysts estimate Israel may have wiped out between 35 and 60% of Iran's long-range missile launchers. More haunting are the estimated hundreds of casualties, scientists, commanders, civilians, including between 200 to 650 fatalities in nuclear complexes and missile sites. The International Atomic Energy Agency has officially declared Iran in noncompliance with the Non-Proliferation Treaty for the first time in 20 years. Iran has rushed some operations underground, but these tactics only buy time. The disruption is significant, setting back nuclear progress by months or even years, altering strategic timelines that Tehran had presumed steady. But infrastructure loss is only half the story. The human cost is severe and widespread. In cities like Tehran and Isfahan, hospitals and schools have been damaged, water and power infrastructure knocked offline. Civilians bear the brunt, hundreds dead, countless injured, thousands displaced. Urban centers have seen displacement numbers soar, an estimated 100,000 people fleeing to safer regions, internally or across borders. Beyond death tolls, air raids have shattered morale, embryoing political instability inside a regime that had, until now, remained tightly centralized. The regime itself is unraveling. Supreme Leader Khamenei's June 15th speech, though forceful in tone, rang hollow to many inside Iran. It lacked the conviction of past defiant addresses. Opposition voices are emboldened. Fragmented though they remain, groups are circulating dissent and information online, pushing against regime narratives. On top of that, heavy economic sanctions have hit oil revenues and frozen foreign investment. When you combine that with reconstruction costs and internal displacement, the Iranian government is strapped both financially and politically. Yet, despite the pressure, the regime stands, making it both weaker and still defiant, a precarious balance with unpredictable future consequences. Israel, for its part, is not immune from pain. Iranian missile salvos and drones have struck in Tel Aviv and Beersheba. Over 200 Israeli civilians have been injured, business activities halted, and markets knocked off intraday highs. Air raid sirens have gone off during trading hours. Even with Iron Dome systems intercepting, the psychological disruption is real, and investors are jittery. Civilian casualties on both sides are steep. This is war, and war kills indiscriminately. In multiple ways, the battle lines have obscured who holds real leverage. The United States plays a critical but finely balanced role. President Trump has authorized additional Patriot missile batteries, naval assets, and intelligence support for Israel. Simultaneously, he has floated talk of diplomacy, suggesting that if violence abates, new discussions with Iran could gain traction. That flip flop sends mixed signals: immediate functional support coupled with long term openness to negotiation. Meanwhile, European powers advocate for sanctions and dialogue, not war expansion. So Iran's refusal to negotiate under fire places the U.S. in a diplomatic bind. Overt military presence risks escalation, subdued engagement risks losing influence. Markets are responding. Oil prices jumped 8 to 12% post June 13, with traders spooked by risk to the Strait of Hormuz and regional export disruption. Emerging market currencies tied to energy exports, like the Russian ruble and Brazilian real, have weakened, while safe havens such as the Japanese yen and gold have rallied. Most stock markets saw dips, particularly in energy, shipping, and manufacturing. U.S. equities dipped before rebounding, Europe wavered, and Middle East indexes showed heightened volatility. Yet, despite the tremors, there's no sign of panic sell offs. Markets are cautious but not collapsing. Iran's proxy groups deserve scrutiny. They remain armed and capable, yet silent. Hezbollah, Hamas, Iraqi militias, and the Houthis have avoided stepping in, likely tethered by Iranian strategy. If Iran pushes them to act, Israel is prepared for strong reprisal. If they stay out, Iran loses less adversarial strength. This proxy diplomacy is delicate and explosive in its potential because it connects to the central question of Tehran's next move, and that uncertainty will be weighing heavily on every trader's risk models. What should you watch over the next 2 to 3 weeks? First, expect cyber warfare. Iran has declared intent to retaliate with cyber strikes targeting Israeli infrastructure. Think power grids, telecoms, banking. That will ripple into cybersecurity stocks, defense contractors, and any firm with Israeli exposure. Second, the threat of tactical strikes. Israel has not publicly ruled out using low yield tactical nukes against underground nuclear facilities if conventional options fail. While extreme, it must be monitored. Third, international diplomacy. France, Germany, Qatar, and the UAE are working on de escalation frameworks. A breakthrough there would lift risk sentiment, especially for oil and industrial sectors. So, where does this all leave us? Israel currently holds operational and psychological upper hands, militarily, strategically, and diplomatically. Iran has taken heavy blows on infrastructure, human capital, credibility, but remains unified for now. The US and Europe hold either de escalation or escalation cards. Civilian populations are the losers. Markets wobble but haven't broken. The next 2 to 3 weeks will define if this reverts toward quiet diplomacy or spins outward, a time when sentences, stealth, and slippage across trading platforms could decide fortunes. If you're trading volatility, this is your moment. You need a platform that moves as fast as war headlines break. You need custom alert triggers for missile launches, cyber attacks, diplomatic statements. You need transactions with zero slippage. That's why I trust crystalballmarkets.com. It's a news-driven trading platform built for economic and geopolitical events, delivering lightning-fast execution, real-time analysis, and alerts tailored to risk-off triggers. If you want to see how it feels to trade with that edge, go to crystalballmarkets.com/platform. Get set up, plug into geopolitical signals, and trade with confidence. For those new to this kind of trading or thinking about entering markets for the first time, don't worry. There's a resource for you too. The Crystal Ball Markets podcast on RSS is a primer for beginners. No jargon, just clear, actionable insight. You'll find episodes on how markets work, how crises affect assets, and how to build resilient portfolios. Head to rss.com/podcast/crystalballmarkets and subscribe. Your groundwork for smart, informed trading starts there. So, traders, that's your full briefing. Winners and losers in the Israel-Iran conflict, how proxies, cyber, and diplomacy shape tomorrow, and where your opportunity and your risk lies. I'm Sophia. You've been listening to Financial Market Insights for Traders. Trade smart, Stay watchful and meet me next time for more analysis that pulls no punches.